Hello, my fellow Wolfpack. Hope you all have an amazing day. This is Big Bad Wolf for today. I have had the privilege to be able to play the newest demo to a Dark Fantasy ARPG coming out, made by Enraged Gamers called Dungeons Deep. It is a Dark Fantasy universe where we travel the vast underworlds full of horrifying monsters and ancient treasures. It plays a lot like Souls, mixed with Dark and Darker, mixed with, say, The Lost Ark. So far, like looking here, the game's graphics are pretty good, the combat's pretty splendid. I mean, one thing I wish that we could change up is maybe have a targeting system, because sometimes things get a bit janky here and there. Because there are times I'm trying to aim for the enemy's arm or the shield, and sometimes it just doesn't connect. Through that, however, it is pretty satisfying when you get to see the enemy's arms limp, or they grab their side like you hurt them. But there is kind of a parrying system if you use one weapon without a shield. I didn't bother testing it because you need to time it just right, otherwise it'll fail. Well, traveling through the dungeon, and for one, it felt a lot like your typical dungeon crawler. There's a lot of treasures, a lot of enemies to discover, mainly skeletal warriors, but then eventually you'll go down and find some powerful enemies. I encountered a very powerful knight and an ogre, and as you see here, there's the mechanic for stunning enemies and executions. But with executions, you have to press a certain button after an enemy is stunned. I am not sure if it instantly kills them, because I never had the chance to really get that opportunity to test that out. Because unfortunately, execution costs mana, which is a big issue I have. I feel like execution attacks should cost stamina. Which is another thing, you got mana. You can use the fireball. And I thought to be fair, okay, you guys saw right there, I use my execution ability and it puts the shield. I do at least like that. It shows that it gives some realism, and you feel the weight behind every weapon. The sounds could use a bit of a touch-up, but I'm not too picky on the sounds. Now anyways, on mana, yes, there are magical spells. You can use a fireball, but again, it costs a lot of mana, which is when you have to pick up some mana potions along with healing potions. I'm not sure where you get them at the moment. The skeletons are the only ones that drop them. I'm not sure. For any money and gold, it's hard to tell because throughout the game, you're literally just doing the damage, so it doesn't really show you how much gold you have, what it does. But what you do know is that you can collect the gold. And again, as you can see here are some chests I can pick up. Everything's nice. And you can get some powerful versions that are better than your armor, but like Souls, there is a price to wearing heavy armor. You run out of stamina faster and you move slower, but you take less damage when you're wearing heavier armor. Whereas with light armor, you're faster, but you take more damage, so you have to be careful. Pretty much just pick whatever's going to be the best for your playstyle. Now you guys don't see, but in this trap, I literally had 5 skeletons walk right into these flaming chandeliers, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Because I'll tell you right now, I died to these things so many times, like, it's not even funny. But the climber is at least good for the most part. I can't speak too much because I'm not an expert. But I can say the colliders are pretty good. The only glitch I ever had while playing this game, you'll see, we're actually going to be coming up on that very soon. But I do like the puzzle mechanic here where even when you fight enemies, you need to be careful because you can't get killed by the obstacles. Oh, shield bashing. You can stun an enemy if you use it enough, but you also have to time it just right too. I mainly use shield bash to kind of do extra damage or getting out of the way, because luckily you can use it as an extra way to dodge. And then you encounter more powerful enemies like ogres, for example. They are pretty much a pain to deal with at first, but what I found to do was leave one into one of these flaming chandeliers, It won't kill them, but you'll get very close to killing them. Which I also find super satisfying when it happens. It shows some realism, and it makes it really easy to kill them. I should use my execution skill right there, but I didn't have enough. Oh, I did have enough mana, I just chose nothing for some reason. I wish I would so I could see what would have happened. But we are about to come up on this glitch very soon that I was talking about. It actually happened as I was fighting this ogre, which it was pretty hilarious how it happened. You guys didn't hear about it, I was literally laughing my rear end off, just thinking more on it. And here's the glitch. As you can see here, somehow that ogre got himself stuck in the corner and the collider just wasn't working. So I literally just went ham on him, but I didn't take a chance of getting too close. So I literally just, eventually I just ditched my sword and shield and I got out the spear. But you're about to see another thing that's pretty satisfying. You can actually cut off their arms, which I find to be really awesome, very satisfying to do when you pull it off, but here's the catch. You have to do enough damage to that particular limb. Otherwise, you're not going to cut off that part so easily. And again, which is why I feel like it'd be nice to have a targeting system very similar to Atlas Force, where there's certain limbs you can target, and when you do enough damage, you sever it. And so say, if you manage to cut off a leg, it makes it fall to the ground. As you guys can see here, this game actually has traps you have to watch out for, but you can use them to your advantage. I tried to use one on an ogre earlier, but it did not work out well. I almost got killed like twice and got loaded to a dead end. But I'll tell you, in this area, there's so many ogres that it wasn't even funny. Like, I was thinking, what the heck is going on here? Because eventually you just get tired of fighting these guys. Because they're pretty difficult to fight, but what I found to do was leave one away, get out a fireball, throw a fireball at him, take another mana potion, and then throw another fireball, and then just go ham. But unfortunately, in this part, you really get the limited resources, so use your potions very wisely, otherwise you will find yourself going low and also dying pretty quick. One thing I will give this dev credit for, the graphics are actually pretty amazing and impressive to be made by one single dev. Like, I have to applaud him. I mean, this definitely is no cakewalk, it looks like. And what he has so far is actually very decent. I'm very well impressed. Eventually, we're about to come up onto what would be our first boss fight, in which what I like here is you can actually block fire with your shields if it's big enough, and you won't take damage. I never got the chance to do so, but I wish I would have, because it would have been such an awesome thumbnail. And as you can see, we do have a roll mechanic. Now, something I was going to mention earlier, but I figured I'd wait until we got to this part. It looks a lot like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and any other FromSoft game. The dodge roll, pretty much, if you have a heavy equip load, you are going to fat roll. I have noticed that. When you wear lighter armor or no armor, you roll really fast, but again, you take a lot of damage, so choose dependent on your play style. The dragon's not too intimidating at the moment, but unfortunately, every time I was trying to fight him, I kept on pressing the jump button instead of the dodge button. And I just felt like such an idiot. I felt like I was doing such a great job until the end. But I love the design of the dragon. It's very beautifully done. I love the detail with the glowing eyes. Really gives more to the menace and the malice of the dragon. And it's just very intricately done. And another thing too is, whenever you wound him, you'll see the wounds you deliver to the dragon literally lift on the monster. And I find that to be super amazing. And just so much realism, so much thought is put into this, and you can see from the deck. I'm kind of just swinging away being stupid, and this is where I died. Slapped me in the face really hard and sent me flying. That was a home run.